Well guys, I just got off the bike and it really impressed me because compared to other bikes it has really a good engine, especially the torque halfway through the range going up, and it never feels like it's slowing you down. So when you're keeping the same gear and really pushing, it doesn't pull you back, so it's really nice because you can play a lot with the gears. Frame wise, I found it very easy to handle, especially going inside the ruts. It just felt very lightweight, the bike, and in this moto I asked to tighten the steering stem and I felt it was way better with a tighter steering stem. Like the bike was more stable, especially when we were going very fast down the streets and then having to brake, so doing a big brake. Initially it would wobble a bit, but now that we tightened the steering stem, it's going straight and I'm able to enter the turn at a fast speed. But the thing I really liked most was the handling into the ruts and how easy in the change of direction the bike was. It felt like it gave me a lot of confidence, and the engine is super fun to ride. If I have to say a downside of this bike, I believe it's a bit the rear brake. That's not its strongest point, because the rear brake, when you use it a lot with this heat we have today, you feel it become a bit spongy and not as precise as when you are going inside at the beginning of the moto. For the rest, even the ergonomics feels good. It feels like a small bike, and that makes it easier, you know, for anyone, even for like me, for an amateur rider, to handle this bike and just enjoy it. I believe that being the first project of Triumph, they're really at a good point. They are battling, you know, with the top in the motocross MX2 riders. I'm really curious to see how it will be when they come out with the 450, and yeah, I'll tell you more in a bit, but for now I'm really enjoying the day. Okay, other than the things I shared when I got off the bike, I believe that for me, the biggest strength of this bike is the confidence it gives you. And it also made me think about something. Currently, I'm racing with the 450cc bike, and for me, that I'm an amateur rider is a bit too much. I never feel the confidence to really push. With the Triumph TF250X, I had so much fun that it made me reconsider the fact of riding a 254 stroke, and in particular this bike, because it's very easy. I don't like to make comparisons to other bikes because I believe that Triumph came out with its unique bike, so you can't really compare it to other bikes. But I can say that a characteristic I really liked was the fact that the frame felt a bit like a Japanese manufacturer frame, so a frame that has a bigger stability and that is less rigid, so even when you go wrong, it's easier to correct and manage not to crash out. On the other hand, the power delivery and the torque it has is really incredible. You find yourself using a lot the gears, but also sometimes if you don't want to shift up, you can really insist on the same gear. Other than this, today I tried the two different maps. For me, that I'm pretty heavy, the smoother map was a bit too smooth because here we had a lot of grip, so I really wanted the bike, you know, to pull me out. But I put the traction control on, and what I noticed is that there's not that big of a difference between the traction on or off. But this is a good thing because it means the traction is working, but riding it, you don't really feel it cutting power. So I would manage to have really good grip. As you saw, even on the jumps, the bike is easy to handle. Ergonomics for me were really fine. I'm 183 centimeters. The bike felt smaller than other bikes, and this, I believe, made it easier to handle. For sure, the enduro bike, I guess, will have the same identical frame, probably a smoother engine for enduro, and this gets me really pumped because I believe it can be superior to Japanese manufacturers and probably compete with European enduro manufacturers. I then tried also the quick shift. I'm not too much of a fan of the quick shift on motocross because I believe you have to completely readapt your riding style, and I didn't try the launch control, but I believe that this can can be a bike that really a vast different level of rider can truly enjoy, from the pro rider, because today we had some pro riders here at the track that raced European Championship, really pull, and then riders like me, I'm an amateur looking to have fun. Speaking even to the other riders, everyone more or less had the same feeling. As I mentioned before, the only downside I found today was the rear brake. Suspension wise, I even over jumped sometimes, and even if I'm 105 kilograms when I'm completely dressed, I think they did a good job to be standard suspensions. I had to adjust the steering stem, and that made a big improvement. When I tightened the steering stem, the bike wasn't wobbling so much going inside the turns, because here the terrain was pretty hard, like with sort of small stones, and it felt a bit wobbly. But when I tightened the steering stem, and this I'm seeing that I'm doing it on every OEM bike, so not only on the Triumph, I did it also on the CRF test that you saw here on the channel, and I do it on all bikes. I prefer bigger stability, but this bike has truly a great stability. Well guys, thanks for watching. Leave down in the comments what are your thoughts on the Triumph. If you are excited like me to see Triumph enter the more off-road segment and coming out with the enduro, let me know what you would like to see on the enduro bike. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, to follow me on Instagram for live content when I do these tests, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!